All right, so a little bit earlier, I already said today we're going to be talking about why I think a good part of everything we're talking about here is just straight up dumb. All right, but before we get into any of that, make sure you press the like button, subscribe, and comment something down below because the first time a video hits 1,500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away $100 worth of crypto. And now my question before we start is, what is your favorite altcoin? Or actually, what is your favorite crypto? Because Bitcoin can also be included. If you've put that down below, then let's talk about that one specifically. Because that one which you are referring to, I want to know, all right, does it have some of the same traits that Ripple has? Does it have partnerships? Does it have, I guess, a foundation? And does the foundation do something for the coin? Because when I looked up a little bit today, I kind of came to the conclusion that I personally find that it's a little bit strange, this whole lawsuit. The whole lawsuit, if you've read it, it kind of resembles a hatred towards a currency and kind of an orchestrated destruction of the currency, since they make up a lot of points, right? And a lot of points are valid as these are real concerns that people have, I understand. But a lot of them are also pretty damn stupid, and even though I don't have quotes, I've shown this to you guys, I think, 3 days straight now, so I think you guys are pretty familiar with everything I'm going to say here. One of the points that they're making is that Ripple dumps on investors, which is a big point, pretty logical though, a lot of people said, but consider this one, right? Ripple is the entity that officially did not create XRP but has the majority of it, which is the distribution, I would say, and is also the way that the coins are, I guess, given out, distributed, yes. So that is quite centralized. We can all agree on that. However, it becomes a little bit more difficult when you really start to think about who has those and what their purpose is, yada, yada, yada. As, for example, Ethereum and most projects out there have a foundation. And Ethereum here has also been not really caught because they always just explain this. I mean, I'm not trying to say Ethereum is sketchy, by the way. I hold Ethereum. I like it. But Buterin says Ethereum Foundation made $100 million by dumping Ether at the top. And this foundation is supposedly just supposed to work on Ethereum and so forward and so on. Let's see here. I did get the Ethereum Foundation to sell 70,000 ETH, like basically at the top, and that's doubled our runway now. So that is one good decision that has a lot of impact, Buterin added, which is because they don't really sell that much. They just sell to keep themselves running for the next 4 years or so is what I've read. I didn't know too much about this, so I could also be saying something that's wrong, but if I do, just let me know down below, all right? The most important part to me is that there's always a foundation back in the project, which is, paying people to work on it, for example. With Ripple, that's also the same way. The only thing in which it really differs, I guess, is that the Ethereum Foundation has as a main priority working on Ethereum. And Ripple, as a company, as a foundation, since the Ethereum Foundation is not the same as Ethereum, and Ripple is not the same as XRP, as Ethereum and XRP are both not companies but cryptocurrencies, the real difference between these two is that Ethereum's foundation has one primary focus, and Ripple has quite a lot of them, which is what the SEC is mainly concerned about. It's that Ripple is using the, I guess, XRP Foundation's funds for Ripple's own benefit. It's like saying that Ethereum Foundation would use the Ethereum that they have for the Ethereum Foundation rather than for Ethereum, which is because, for example, the Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen cashed out, right? That's basically what it comes down to. But then again, we should also consider that these founders, for example, Chris Larsen, Jim McCaleb, and the other guy, I don't know his name anymore right now. If I stop recording, I'll know instantly, but always when I'm recording, I forget that type of stuff. Is it Artur Brito? Whatever. There's even another name in there as well, which is very important from the inception. But all those had a huge part of XRP since they started. So did quite a lot of other cryptocurrencies founders have the same thing. They just get a huge allocation for the team or for the development, just for making it, basically. And I kind of feel as if them, for example, Chris Larsen, selling his XRP, and even Brad Garlinghouse, if this XRP were not to be given to him by Ripple's XRP that is an escrow, but solely by, for example, Ripple's XRP that they have from themselves, because I, as a company, for example, could also decide to buy XRP. I could have 10 billion. And if I decide to give that to my employees, I'm completely fine with that. The only kind of difference lies in if XRP was created solely to be sold to create liquidity for Ripple, the company, where Ripple is a for-profit company not involved with XRP necessarily, and where XRP cannot survive on its own. But I think personally, if Ripple were to leave, XRP would survive. Nothing would really happen. You may say, oh, but the distribution is centralized. No, it doesn't really matter for the consensus. XRP will survive. XRP will get more projects built on there. The only bigger part is that the use case is primarily built by XRP, by Ripple. But I think a good part of that, in difference to Ethereum and stuff like that, is because they're at an early stage for some way bigger changes. I mean, for example, they have a lot of partnerships. They have, for example, if you check a couple of websites, they have Bank of America as a good example of a partnership. And now you may say, okay, but MoneyGram we just noticed was paid. So, I mean, even if they have to pay right now, and even if they are paying and they're not really using it to the fullest extent, if they would use it eventually, that's still kind of a good thing, right? And once more, guys, and none of these videos here are financial advice, and none of these are meant to make you buy. We're just trying to sketch a better picture, because if you guys can actually give me good arguments why I should sell, I might even consider it. You know, I'm always just being rational, and right now I'm not even thinking about letting go of all my coins because I want to ride it to zero or hero. But maybe you guys were like, well, look at this piece of evidence, look at this piece of info that's not in a lawsuit. That might change your mind, Dusty. If you give it to me on Discord, for example, and I look at it, I'm like, wow, maybe. You know, I'm open to anything. I'm not an ambassador for XRP. I can change my mind all the time. I just am not planning to. So let me quickly solidify once more. I'm not thinking about selling. I'm not letting go of any coins unless I'm trying to buy it back cheaper. For the most part, I actually just buy. However, again, sometimes the opportunity is there. For example, right now we knew Coinbase, since saying they were going to stop the trading eventually, the price would fall down. So I take advantage of that, of course. But for the longer term, I'm still holding because I think, again, we should ride it all the way. But if you guys have some stuff, I'm always open to anything because I think it's worth it, right? To just check everything out and maybe just quit for a little while and come back in. Who knows, right? Depends on what you guys can tell me. For right now, though, not really in my head. But to come back, it just depends on how Bergoni House exactly was given the coins. Because there's a little bit of a debate about that on whether Ripple's funds of XRP, those 8 billion or so that they have themselves, were, again, just kind of gotten to be sold, or if that was just a normal kind of contribution. For example, Chris Larson, Jed McCallop, and the other guy, I think Arthur Brito, plus Ripple, if they, as for example, 4 entities were to get some XRP as kind of the team, but then all fall under one Ripple entity. So all 4 parties, for example, were to fall under Ripple, them getting XRP, and then a second part being used, for example, on top of that for the escrow, basically. That is, again, for XRP development. I don't think it's really a strange thing. The only problem lies in the fact that they have so much of it. However, I think that's just by design how it's worked. They're not using it all. They're just using small parts of it. And that really makes me wonder, what exactly are they spending this money on? Are we talking about that money XRP from escrow that's being given out to Bergoni House and Chris Larson? Or are we talking about the XRP that belonged to Ripple, for example, in one of the parts at the start, which they were given at the inception of XRP, where, again, they just distributed it that way? I just do not know about it. All right, and is there an inherent difference between the XRP that was being given to Ripple for escrow and the XRP that's aside that Ripple just has as an entity? Is there a difference in that? I just feel as if there is, and that's, again, keeping me kind of sane and keeping me positive, because I think, well, if these guys are paying themselves out, it's not even that crazy, because Jed McCallop, to a certain degree, has so much XRP that he's selling. It's fine, right? It's just logical because he's a founder. Same thing for Chris Larson. If he himself is selling his XRP, it's not a problem. But Bergoni House, though, I don't know how early he joined and how much he bought himself and where exactly he's getting his XRP from to sell, because that might be indeed a little bit odd. But on the contrary, I kind of feel as if these guys also have advisors where they've been told that they can or cannot do that from the start, or they might have known that this lawsuit would never hurt them personally. I do not know. Because you would kind of think guys that are working with billions of dollars and, just huge sums of money here have some personal advisors, or maybe at least some company advisors that can tell them, hey, don't sell this because the SEC is going to get after you and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Or them saying, well, we can actually win this, let's go through, right? Don't you think that would be a little bit odd? For example, if you take a look at the Wikipedia page here, you see all the companies that are involved with Ripple. I find it really strange that all the companies that are partnered with here, all the companies that have invested in Ripple, and all the people that they've met have never been like, whoa, but what do you guys actually do? Because what you're telling me now sounds like a security. I'm a give that on, right? I'm gonna pass that forward, or I don't want to join you guys, or I don't want to hear anything more. No, we've never really seen any resistance come from these guys. We've never seen an investigation come straight afterwards. So I kind of feel as if this is all some orchestrated effort to either push it back down, or the SEC has just been lacking for a little while. I do not know. But we know this conference very well, right? We knew it from way back. I just really don't understand how it wasn't all made public back then, or why these companies, even in 2019, decided to invest more, while they knew that from 17 on forward, they were already being sued for security violations. So, I mean, you can all kind of say like, okay, these ones, they can still invest because then they weren't sued yet, even though they had a lawsuit in 2015, for example, where they were called a digital currency, by the way. So maybe these guys also invested in the idea that it might be a currency eventually. But here, I don't get how this could be put through then. How, if they want to save investors, right, why would they allow these guys to invest more money into technology company or fintech company that is really, according to the SEC, obviously doing something wrong, obviously a fraud company? Why would you 1 year ago not stuff them then if you already knew this for like 7 years? I can't get my head over it, which really makes me think this is an orchestrated move because Ripple talked about regulations so much, they wanted it so bad they couldn't get it. This is maybe the only measure in which they could get it done quickly. Maybe that's because they had a deal with Jay Clayton. Maybe they talked with him, maybe they lobbied for XRP to be sued in this sense. Some other guys have said this is just for the elites to get XRP cheaper to buy back in. Cannot say about that, but I do think it's very odd, right? Especially if you consider every other coin with a foundation right now is not being charged for being a security, and a lot of coins, for example, Stellar, is pretty similar to XRP. The biggest difference lies, however, in that the Stellar Foundation is officially a nonprofit. However, that does not really matter for the bigger purpose as, well, even though you're a nonprofit, you can still give your people that work there a huge bonus. Let's move on. Let's see what else I got. XRP. Coinbase suspension triggers XRP slide. We all just saw that. CEOs from MicroStrategy, Square, Nextech AR Solutions, PayPal, and CleanSpark highlight the adoption of Bitcoin in corporate asset allocation strategy. This one mostly talks about the idea that right now there's so much crypto being purchased. I just cannot keep up with it even. Yet, still, people are doubtful. And that's also what sparked another interest to me in XRP, where it's like so many are doubtful, so many have been doubtful, so many are calling it wrong. And that's, of course, when the biggest profitability margin is set in place because all these naysayers are going to push it down. Coinbase is going to I shouldn't say delist, but stop the trading. Crypto.com is going to delist and so forth and so on. That's really kind of the denial phase, right? Or which of the phases is it exactly in that little cycle? Or it's like the phase where everybody just laughs at them and like, we told you so, before actually switching right back up. Again, it's not a certainty, but that's that little margin of profitability there that you are betting kind of against the grain. I would never really recommend people to buy the dip or try to kind of go against the trend. But in this case here, I kind of feel as if this is just panic and we should be picking up more. And that's my personal thoughts about the situation, right? I'm just picking up more for right now, though, because I believe in the bigger picture. If it's a security, I'm going to go down with it. If it isn't, let's go. By the way, guys, check out Webull if you're from the US because you can get 4 stocks for free for the next 2 days, all right? Until the 31st. If you just make an account and deposit $100, I believe you get 4 stocks. If you just make an account and activate the account, I believe you get 2 free stocks. Check it out, though. Link is down below. And check out Unstoppable Domains. Link is down below as well. Then another cool part of adoption is Panthers Russell Okung to be paid in Bitcoin. So he's getting a half of his $13 million salary in Bitcoin. I didn't know he earned that much. $13 million a year. That is, wow. Okung, 32, is in his final year of the 4-year, $53 million contract he originally signed with Chargers. He'll be a free agent in a matter of months, though he's hinted at potentially retiring to pursue outside endeavors. Over the last 2 years, Okung have been limited to just 13 total games, yada, yada, yada. I don't really care about that. After missing the previous 2 weeks with the calf injury, it's unclear if he'll play in the season's finale, but he will get paid $13 million, of which half is going to be paid in Bitcoin. And I kind of wondered, are his income here, already tax deducted? Like, is the money that he gets, the $13 million, already minus tax, or does he have to pay tax on it eventually? Because what I sometimes think is, what if on the day your tax or your income is given and the Bitcoin price is really high, and the day afterwards your Bitcoin price drops by 40%, you still have to pay taxes on that full 100, right? Even though your money right now has declined by 40%. which is pretty strange if you really ask me. But all right, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. I'll definitely see you guys again. Adoption is going on. XRP is going on. I'm picking it up. We're just betting against the grain. I know it, but I'm taking that risk. So yeah, that is it for today. Take care. Have a nice one.